How to make a mob grinder in Minecraft. Ready, set, go. Okay guys, so to make the mob grinder, you're gonna need 2 water buckets, 4 hoppers, 4 chests, a bunch of cobblestone. I'm talking like 2 inventories full, at least an inventory full of cobblestone slabs, probably more. You're gonna need 64 oak trapdoors or any kind of trapdoor minimum. And you're gonna need a whole bunch of carpets. It doesn't matter what color, it just needs to be carpets, and I'll explain why you need these later. Okay, so to start off your mob grinder, you're gonna wanna place your chests. So your chests are gonna be where all the drops come from when you kill all your mobs. So you're gonna place them like this, and like this. Next, you wanna take your hoppers, and make sure you hold shift so you crouch, and make sure the hoppers go into each of the chests. Just like that. That's gonna make the bottom where it collects all of our drops and where we get all of our XP. You're also going to want to do this with the white carpets, because if you put the white carpets on here, it makes it so the items and XP don't get stuck on the hoppers themselves, and that helps for later on. Next, you're going to want to take your cobblestone and go around it like this, and just kind of entrap everything like that. So now anything that lands on these hoppers and dies, it'll go into this chest. Okay, so next you're going to want to start towering up. You want to make it so that the mobs fall approximately 20 blocks. It can't fall any more than 22 or else they'll die, but if you make them fall about 20 blocks, you should be able to kill them with your fist. So go on top of the block here and start counting until you get to 20. Okay, and once you have that, you want to fill it in all the way around, leaving yourself a gap at the bottom so that you can still attack the mobs, like right here, like this. So now that you have your tower that's 20 blocks higher than the surface of the hoppers, you need to start making your water channels. Water can only flow 8 blocks from the source block, so if you count this as the source block, we need to go back 7 plus 1 more for the walls for 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where the wall will be, so we can actually tower up here. Then we go do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and make a wall right here. And next you just want to make your pillars like this and start filling in your water channels. This is to make it so that when the mobs spawn in your spawner, they fall into these and then fall down the pit from exactly 20 blocks so they don't die, but they take just enough damage so that when you hit them at the bottom, you get the XP and all of their drops. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my water channels with 8 blocks going in each direction, and the walls are 3 high. So next you're going to want to make sure that you have a floor for all your mobs to spawn on by filling in all of these areas. So you're going to want to fill in everything that goes to here. And make your big square like this, and just fill it in like you have a floor like this. Okay, so now that you have your floor built, just before we keep going, make yourself an infinite water source. This will make things easier later. Okay, and so now that you have your infinite water source, go around and fill in each of your channels with 2 source blocks at the bottom. You'll notice that the water flows all the way to the edge but doesn't go over the edge, and that's what you want. You want the mobs to be able to get to the edge and get pushed by the water and just fall straight down the hole. Next, you can get rid of your infinite water source. Okay, and now you want to make your walls. A lot of people say to make your walls 3 high, but I like to make them 2 high, and I'll show you why in a minute. So just go all the way around the edges like this, just so that nothing can escape once it starts spawning. This is really important too. A lot of people like to use netherrack for this because it stops endermen from taking the blocks, but if you make it too high, endermen can't take the blocks anyways because they can't spawn in the spawner. Now obviously if you want endermen in your spawner, they don't really fall down and die the same way. Like you won't get a lot of ender pearls in your spawner if you make it 3 high, but you can if you want to. I heard it does increase the spawn rate a little bit, but from my experience it's not enough for it to really matter at all. Okay, so now that you have your 2 high wall built, it's time to put down your carpets. Carpets help to prevent spiders from spawning and blocking up your hole down here so other mobs can't get through. Spiders need spaces of 4 to spawn. So by putting the carpets here, the carpets actually act as a block, and although it reduces your surface area in here, it does prevent spiders, which also increases the spawn rate of other mobs that you might actually want and need. Now that we have all of our carpets laid out in sort of a checkerboard pattern, the next step is to put in your trapdoors. Now, just like the carpets, trapdoors count as a block, so mobs think that they're a surface that they can walk on. So if you put the trapdoors down like this, they think that they can walk on this block, but then they end up falling into the water and into our trap. Okay, now that we have all of our trapdoors down, we are ready to start up the mob spawner. So what you need to do is you need to cover the roof with slabs. Now you can use any other block if you want, but slabs make it so that other mobs can't spawn on the roof of it, so you won't have random mobs just jumping off the roof and landing and potentially living like creepers and blowing up your base. Also, endermen can spawn up here because there's just a lot of open area for them to spawn. So I recommend using slabs if you can. Just go across the top like this and just make sure that the entire top gets covered. Once the top does get covered, it'll be so dark inside that mobs will begin spawning. Now there is one thing I want to mention. If you only want creepers to spawn in your spawner, so let's say you're trying to get a bunch of gunpowder for the end, like you want to make rockets for your elytra or make a bunch of TNT, you want to put trapdoors all along the underside of the roof. That makes it so that the height from here to here is only tall enough to spawn creepers, and that's it. So you will only get creepers out of your spawner if you do that. Other than that, you'll get skeletons, you'll get zombies, and you'll get creepers, and you'll get mini zombies too. Okay, and one final step I did forget to mention is to make sure you put slabs underneath like this. If you don't do this, creepers will be able to see you, and when they drop down here, they'll be able to see you and blow up the bottom of your spawner, which is something you absolutely do not want to happen. Alright, and as you can see, the mobs have started spawning in the top here. If you look inside, they've fallen down, and if I go up and start punching them, they should die in just a couple hits. With a sword, it's a lot easier. Sword, it's one hit, but fist, it's going to take a couple just because we didn't go all the way up to 22 blocks. But yeah, this is a fast way of getting XP. I just need to fix that quickly. But yes, this is a really fast way of getting XP, and you'll notice that when the mobs die, their items go automatically in these chests. Keep in mind these chests do fill up pretty quickly, especially if you have looting, so make sure you empty them often. You can even add in like hoppers underneath and make little item sorters and make a much bigger storage system, but if you want to figure out how to do that, you should check out my other video on 5 useful redstone inventions, and that'll show you how to make an item sorter. And that's how you make a mob grinder for XP and items. Now keep in mind you can make this thing a little bit bigger and a little bit wider with a little bit of tweaking of the design. So if you guys want me to do a video on that, please let me know in the comments. But that's going to be everything for today. If this video helped you out, please leave a like. And if it really helped you out, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.